the Trump Inauguration Party. Here we go. Y'all ready?
The golden age of America has arrived.
Nope.
President Donald J. Trump, number 47 in 43 minutes. Happy days are here again.
This is We the Sequel, We the People, round 2, as we take back our capital,
Nope.
as we take back the country after January 6th and all of those people running in jail for no reason. Most of them.
I'm ready to see
Most
gas
of
prices
them.
under
All right, Jimmy.
$1.50.
That's
I'm ready
fair.
to see the Federal Reserve abolished. I'm ready to see Trump
Ooh,
buy
Trump
1
won, not
million
Ron
bitcoins
Paul.
for a strategic reserve for us Americans to have.
The
I'm
official
ready to
Trump
see
meme.
the northern, the southern border secure. I'm ready to see inflation go down to 0. I'm ready
Wow, there it is.
for all the Jan 6 prisoners not only to get a pardon, but to get multi-million-dollar payouts in the future. And I'm ready to go to
Damn. All right.
Greenland and have a nice hotel stay.
Wait, what?
$1 million payouts in the future. And I'm ready to go to Greenland and have a nice hotel stay at a future Trump tower that gets built there. I'm ready for that.
There's no way this guy isn't halfway trolling. There's no fucking way. He's got to be farming. He is the prime age of watching Andrew's videos. Guaranteed he's farming. But it's really funny.
You know, Greenland is like negative 30 right now, though.
Well, Greenland is really cold and icy, and Iceland is really green and nice, right?
Yeah, it was like they named it that to trick the Vikings. So Iceland's the green one. So they were like, the Vikings, they were scared of them, so they were just like, yo, we're going to call Greenland Iceland and reverse it. So that the Vikings got to Greenland and were like, fuck.
Wow, that's amazing.
I'm really
That's crazy,
honestly
wow.
going to be proud to see our president able to walk and not crap himself in front of the world stage. It's nice to have a president
Are
that
those
can
his
speak
dreadlocks?
English without mumbling. It's nice to have a president that the people on the world
Let
stage
me be perfectly clear. Another thing.
actually respect and maybe fear a little bit. Remember when he did the thing with Rocket Man? People said he was going to start World War III. He's
Yeah.
like, Rocket Man, I've got the biggest rocket. I've got the
It's Kim
biggest. I've got a
Jong-un,
bigger
not
butt.
Elon Musk.
I've got a bigger rocket.
Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself and for his regime.
And everyone said that was going to start World War III. But did it? No, it actually backed off Rocket Man. And in the end, they ended up shaking hands, which had never been done before. Never been done in the history of the world. And it's that strength that you need when you come into a negotiation. You
Yeah.
don't need some guy bumbling and barely able to walk, rolling up in front of the world leaders. They're laughing behind our backs. They're making us look foolish. At least Trump has swagger. He's got Americana, and he's a badass.
I definitely think he's learned a
I
lot.
do have to say that him dancing with the sword, cutting the cake, that was really high quality entertainment. Yeah. That's the kind of stuff that makes people go out and buy a shirt with the American flag on it.
But I think, while we definitely didn't want the last 4 years, I think he's benefited from 4 years of just seeing what can happen. And now he's got the right team assembled. He knows how to move things around. And I think we're going to see real meaningful change.
Yeah, I'm ready for Elon to really, really, really cut most of the 2 million plus jobs in the federal government out of the equation. And I'm
Yeah.
ready to see over 400 bureaucracies here in the United States that are like a cancer in God's U.S.
Yep.
Republic completely abolished. The IRS needs to be abolished.
Oh,
I would like to see, say,
look at
Department
that hat. There it is.
of Education gone. I would like to see ATF gone.
Oh.
Why do you want the Department of Education shut down?
Before the Department of Education, we were ranked 9th in the world. Or no, we were 7th in the world.
In education.
Yes, in education. After the Department of Education, I think today, we are about 14th. No Child Left Behind, drastically dumbed down. The curriculums made it so that students couldn't fail. And then every time
I really appreciated that, by the way. That was really useful because I used that to my advantage. I would get a 90 in every class, and then the next grading period I would get a 0. But they couldn't give you a 0. They could only give you a 50. And do you know what 50 and 90 plus each other are divided by 2? That's a 70. And do you know what 70 does? It passes the class. That's right.
Curriculum is seen to be upgraded. The teachers union shut it down.
Interesting. Do you think teachers should be paid more?
No,
I do.
Why?
there shouldn't be a public education system.
And I'm ready for Donald John Trump to
Damn.
make Bitcoins a legal tender here, like what has happened in El Salvador with Nayib Bukele.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
What's the benefit of having a cryptocurrency reserve?
Well, with Bitcoins, we have to adapt to that as Americans. We have to have that because if we don't, we're going to be very, very far behind of other nations like El Salvador, who's leading the way.
Yeah.
Those people there.
I guess it's just important to have market regulation when it comes to, Bitcoin because of pump and dump schemes. Like, did you see the Haktua coin?
Right. That's a huge problem. We have Bitcoins. They're incredible. And then we have all the scam coins out there. And there are so many altcoins that are just wreaking havoc.
Yeah, because it's
Life
hard.
after life after life.
It's hard because you want to have a free market, but then the crypto world is just so full of scams. It's like you need some element of regulation.
Right. There needs to be some type of thing put in, and hopefully Trump can get it done.
Yeah.
What do you think about this upcoming presidency, bro?
I'm actually Cuban. I was born in Cuba.
Well, I think that, maybe the idea is that, remember how Trump said, I know that the system of like taxes are rigged because I'm the one rigging the system. Maybe the Trump coin was him doing investigative research into crypto because now he can say, I know how the crypto scene is rigged because I'm the one that, how do people rug coins? Well, I know because I did it. Yeah.
in 2011, first terms for Trump, didn't really agree with him. Didn't really agree with the way that he spoke about immigrants, especially I was not citizen yet. I didn't think about voting on the second term, but something happened. And I saw that Biden took like such a comfortable back seat during July 6th back in Cuba. I don't know if you've heard about the situation.
Tell us about it.
So
No idea.
I think it was 2022. There was a massive revolt all around the island.
Oh, wow.
All the cities were taking to the streets, protesting that
Damn.
they were sick and tired. There's no food.
I didn't even know this fucking happened. That's crazy.
There's no power. The government basically hoards all the resources, and instead of
guy's from our
distributing them
Discord.
like they're
Yeah.
supposed to, communism, they give it to like the people that
This guy's
were
a
close
viewer? Are you guys serious? Like, is actually a viewer?
with them, the agents.
Yes. Oh my
like Venezuela.
god.
Like Venezuela, exactly, same thing.
Yeah.
It was violent. The police were,
Serious?
and there are videos
That's
of
fucking
police
hilarious.
breaking
Wow.
into like the house of one of the organization leaders. They shot him right in front of the family.
Yeah.
You can see like the blood running. It's really sad. I was crying throughout that entire place. Like it was tragic.
And how did Biden respond to the July 6th events?
He didn't do anything. He
Oh.
basically said we're not gonna touch anything revolving around Cuba. We're gonna leave them to their devices. And there's a group of Cubans that today are gonna be having a protest in front of the White House to basically encourage Trump to look at that situation and try to do something, try to help. And fair.
How long did it take you to achieve citizenship?
Well, for me,
So the one guy that's a viewer from my stream is well-spoken, a legal immigrant, and has a deep understanding of political events. I think that makes a lot of sense. Wow, what a surprise.
was around 6,
How about
7
that?
years. It's not hard. You just gotta know history, learn the history. They literally give you a booklet with the answers.
Jesus.
Uh-oh.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Thank you. Can you tell me about your sign?
Sure. So mine says protect trans kids.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of discourse about trans people right now. All of the time.
Birds aren't real, Yanny or Laurel. Jesus Christ. How many Funko Pops do you think she owns? I'd say at least a dozen.
Talking points being made are word for word identical to what they were 20 years ago or 30 years ago about gay people.
It's like we have mutants living among us on planet Earth.
I think if kids want to change their name, explore gender identity, do whatever the fuck they want, that's fine. If they at some point want to do something medical about it, then they can have an informed conversation with a parent and or medical professional.
And what threat do you think the next 4 years pose to that?
I mean, Trump said he's going to sign an executive order on day one saying that there are two genders. So,
Yep. Yep, that's over. This is over. He did. It's done. I think that the inclusion of trans into like the gay movement has done irreparable damage to it. And I feel like most people's problems with LGBT is 90% the T, if not more.
there's a pretty imminent threat of getting kicked out of the military, losing gender inclusive care.
Yeah.
People are going to die from this, and that's really shitty.
Transgender students in sports became a top issue on the 2024 campaign trail and now a top priority of House Republicans in the new Congress.
The only time that people, the general public, started caring about trans people in women's sports was when they started winning. Like, Leah Thomas isn't even, she's a good swimmer. She's not the best.
Yeah.
There's no epidemic of men going into women's sports and sweeping competition. Like, that's not
true.
happening.
Yeah.
And also being on estrogen long term actually, like, weakens your physical abilities. And medical transition is often necessary to compete in women's sports for trans people. So, like,
hatred has won, and that.
Yeah. Well, this lost. Yeah, like 80% of people think it's ridiculous. You just look up any opinion poll. Yep, that's over. It's done.
Is depressing. I cried on election day. I know so many other women who cried on election day. This means that so many people have to go into hiding, can't be themselves. People are.
They need to, for this Halloween, maybe they can do Make America Great Again Handmaid's Tale outfits for all the people that cried on election day. There's still a bunch of them.
Like Grant said, people are going to die. People are. It's just, I'm legitimately terrified for my immigrant friends. I stay awake at night thinking about them, thinking about trans people. Whether or not you think that gay people should exist, trans people should exist, immigrants should be here or not, what I hope we can all come together and understand is that humans are humans. Maybe they did commit a crime. Maybe they do something that you don't agree with. They are still people. The mass deportations of immigrants.
I wonder what, like, people like that. I see, like, I can respect, for example, I can respect the woman who gave that sermon the other day, who was like talking about like hoping that Trump would give, you know, not leniency, but be merciful on the immigrants and the migrants, because I think that that's congruent with their religion. But what I think a lot of people find to be problematic with people like this is that I wonder what her viewpoints are on people who maybe didn't take the COVID vaccine, or maybe these are people who shared racist views on social media, or people that did something that is transphobic. Like, how do you think those people should be treated? And so I think the issue is that, like, if you're going to look at this from like a religious point of view, and you're going to say everybody should be treated the same, this is what Jesus would have done, I can respect that, even though I disagree with it, because it's consistent and it is like, it doesn't like, it's not morally hypocritical. But with something like this, and to be fair, I am projecting. I don't know what her viewpoints on these are. But from what I've seen, I feel like there's a huge hypocrisy going on.
Supported the Vietnam War and killed a lot.
The mass deportation of immigrants is
I think Biden's
going to kill people.
Right?
Yeah, Biden's shit.
Okay, great.
What are your thoughts on the whole like mass deportation issue?
Mass deportation. My wife is Mexican. Like I said, I live by the border. I love the Mexican people. There's a lot of good people. We definitely start at the top.
This guy's watched a lot of Trump speeches.
Meaning the worst, and work our way down.
He's right.
You know, necessarily not so many, all these little, you know, people with their families or people second generation, this and that. let's not get too carried away. We'll start with the worst and we'll work our way down. When you got murderers and rapists in San Diego County, we have not just a sanctuary city, we have a super sanctuary city.
What does that mean?
Not only can you not tell ICE.
Yeah, he's completely right, by the way.
There's a problem with an illegal alien. You can't tell them even if they committed armed robbery or rape. They're like, no, what about the poor rapists and armed robbery? We can't send them back. We can't tell ICE.
We will not allow our local resources to be used for actions that separate families.
So they don't want to use the resources, which is what they calling ICE, just because they want to protect illegal aliens. I think the people...
Yeah, this has been a huge component. I think, again, like, people can smell bullshit. It's obviously that this is bullshit. You can't say that everybody is somebody, then say a racist should be killed. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're saying that, right? But yeah.
People that are doing these laws are actually paid off by the cartel. It's a crazy conspiracy. I know. It's one thing having immigration, but when you just have a total open border, and then when they come in, they get free health care, they get free cell phones, they get free hotels when our homeless people are living on the streets. I mean, come on, people. We got to do this legally, right?
We need to have a very...
Man. Could be another viewer.
solid immigration policies will keep attracting the best talents across the world to this land to build it up, build the economy, build companies, hire employee people. I pay tax, and I want my tax to benefit my neighbors, my country, and my children, and my neighborhood,
Obviously.
my community, right? I don't want other countries to take advantage of United States people.
Scientology. Yeah, fucking exactly. I don't want my taxes going to a fucking migrant. I want them going to the homeless people here in Austin. I don't want them going to Israel. I don't want them going to a migrant. I don't want them going to another random fucking country. I don't want them going to the military-industrial complex. I feel like that's the way everybody feels, almost.
He's a cult. Thank you. Are you a Scientologist?
Nope.
Do you think
women and children.
Do you think that we're Scientologists?
Nope. Just getting the message out. That's all.
Okay. What's the worst thing Scientology's done?
They use children for auditing, so 8, 9, 10-year-olds are asking grown men about masturbation and anal sex.
That's not good. Do you feel like
hashtag save the children?
Are you hoping for like exoneration
Sounds
from
pretty
January
bad.
6th people?
I am indeed. In fact, I was down there at the vigil for the J6ers down on Freedom Corner with
expect
Nikki
that.
Withoff, who is Ashley Babbitt's mother. In fact, I have Ashley Babbitt's ashes in this necklace right here. I made this necklace with Ashley Babbitt's ashes. I made it for her and her
Andrew really found... He really finds the best people, doesn't he? He really gets the best people. That's incredible.
husband.
This morning, new details about 35-year-old Ashley Babbit, who was shot and killed by a Capitol police officer.
And I was down there and I was told that the word on the street is the guards were told to stay late tonight to help release the prisoners.
Are they being held in D.C. right now?
Oh, yeah. They're not far from here, a few miles down the street.
Well, thank you so much, Matt. Any message to the American people before we go?
You should go watch his movie. This guy makes some great documentaries. I went to his premiere. It was freaking awesome. Thanks, brother.
I appreciate you, Matt. Thanks, Doc. Have a good one.
Yeah.
If you missed it, just 5 days ago, we dropped our first ever independent film called Dear Kelly, a project that's being received quite well across the political spectrum.
What's
It
this?
explores the life, backstory, and beliefs of a man named Kelly J. Patriot, who I met
I
at
remember this guy.
a White Lives Matter rally in 2021.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant was assassinated by the Clintons.
The film was shot
Yes.
over the course of 3.5 years, documenting Kelly's radicalization, his quest for revenge against a private lender, and his family's attempts to pull him out of the rabbit hole and put family first. The film is currently being self-hosted and privately distributed at www.dearkellyfilm.com for the
yeah.
low rental cost of $5.55. So if you want to support us and see the movie, head on over. All right,
That's badass.
back to the streets of D.C.
Oh yeah, we are
Good for him.
surrounded by ancient pagan symbols, from
Oh.
the obelisk there, which may be the biggest obelisk in the world, to the dome there of ISIS, the ever-pregnant womb of ISIS, and the occult mindset, that's what that is.
I think he's going a little bit too far with that one. But the first one, I could see that.
With the apotheosis of George Washington, which is that mural inside the dome, which represents that Masonic future that so many Masons are into having, where they ascend as a god into some type of paradise. It's not from the Bible, and I'm totally against all that. I'm standing here for Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the Lord of the heavens and the earth.
Okay. Wait, I'm a bit confused. You're here for Jesus Christ. However, the pagan symbology is also important.
Well, it's not important to me, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Because
there it is.
The plan that was put in
True,
place
brother.
to build Washington, D.C. was a plan, in fact, to honor the ancient gods. And the plan was not to honor Jesus Christ. The people who designed this place, the main people, were into it to honor their Masonic god, who is Satan, recorded about in the King James Version Bible.
It's Lucifer. It's the Lucius Trust. There's like Illuminati is derivative of Lucifer, which is a like a term for light bringer. I don't want to reveal my power level about this, but yes, this is true.
I think was controlling Biden behind the scenes.
Obama was definitely a key player.
Obama? Again?
In my research, Obama is more like
No, it wouldn't have been Obama. If it was Obama, it would have done a better job.
Manager in Satan's hierarchy. He's got the World Economic Forum. He's got the UN. He's got King Charles and the monarchy. Satan. He's got so many different groups that have extreme amounts of power compared to me.
Yeah. Do you think that there's kind of like a second deep state forming around Trump?
Well,
yes.
Just protect Trump from having that happen, God. Please help him not to make the same mistakes that he made when he was 43rd president of the United States, God.
Where do you get most of your news and information from?
Twitter.
X.
There you go.
Not just Infowars.com with Alex Jones.
Did you use X back when it was...
Man, bro. Twitter and Infowars. This guy is locked and fucking loaded. He's ready to go to war. All right.
It's in control of Jack Dorsey?
Well, I did, and I got suspended multiple times.
What'd you do?
Was that kind of a wake-up call for you, just having your account taken down multiple times?
I was really aware of that type of thing back in 2013 when I started listening to Alex Jones. He started to wake me up to how things really work in a general way. How we're in a war.
So this is like a 10-year wizard. That's pretty good. It's a good start.
There's a group called the Globalists, and they want to depopulate the Earth, and they want to get it down to under 500 million people.
Yeah.
And they want to bring in their new world order system, their technotronic state where you can't buy or sell without the mark of the beast. It's right there in the book.
This is this correlates to the World Economic Forum, and he's referring to a quote that was made by a Rothschild, and it was talked about maybe 15 years ago. But that quote and that conversation is very, very little known. Like, people don't really know a lot about that. They don't want you to know? Yes. And he's like 50% there. Zeitgeist. I think it was discussed in that movie, but that movie came out in like 2009. But he actually had said that way before then. Heard about this? Yes.
Revelation, the King James Version Bible. I mean, we may live in that time. We may go through it. I'm ready to die for Jesus.
Yeah, so just so you understand the full context of this. So basically, people are radicalized because they're concerned that people who are, for example, like Freemasons, who are, or you know, part of like Lucius Trust or some other form of what they consider to be devilry, are going to create a social and governmental apparatus that's going to cause people to undertake a certain object or item into their body that will then be used as a mark of the beast that will make it to where they can't go to heaven. And that's why a lot of people were worried about the COVID vaccine. And that's also worried about why people are worried about chips as well. So in case people didn't know, like Neuralink is another example of that. That sounds insane. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, well, that's the lore of it, right? That's how it comes from. Is this supposed to happen? Yes. Yes, and it already is happening.
Taking the mark of the beast no matter what.
What's the mark of the beast?
It could be a microchip in your hand, this one, your right one, or your left one, and then maybe it's some type of Neuralink chip in your head.
Yeah.
Or maybe something more advanced than that.
Yeah.
Some people have
What
said.
the fuck? I already know all these boss mechanics. Yeah, I've done this raid before. I've gone through this on Mythic before. This is not a big deal.
The nanoparticulates, or however you say it, in those bioweapon shots from Big Pharma are some type of mark of the beast thing.
That's the COVID vaccine.
Hey, man, well, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for your time, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. And our show's called Channel 5. Be sure to check it out, man. Appreciate you, dude.
You're awesome.
Thank you. You're awesome, too.
Thank you, God, for his life.
Yeah, man.
I love you.
You, too.
Channel 5 Live Worldwide.
Just learned something today, bro.
The authority.
Yep.
Channel 5 News. Channel 55. We don't fuck with custers.
Yeah.
And 5 is.
That was smart. No, he knew a lot of that stuff. I mean, I tell you guys, like with this kind of stuff, you know, if you don't know what's going on with any of this kind of shit, like I definitely do. I mean, I've spent a lot of time invested in knowing about all this stuff and hyper focusing on it, thinking about it, getting involved with it, everything like that. You know, do your research. Yes, you have to not do your research, do your own research. You have to do your own research. You can't let somebody else do it for you. And this is a great video by Andrew. I heard a little bit about his film. I'm probably going to look more into that soon, so we'll see what happens. You said your mom was an expert on this stuff? I don't think that you guys understand. So my mom was a writer. She went to college, and she had a 4.0 GPA in graduate school. She spent all day learning about crazy shit. I swear to God, she probably knew more crazy shit than Alex Jones did. Because she knew all kinds of, like, religious shit. She knew about other cultures, like, everything. It was fucking insane. By the time that she had, like, she was watching Alex Jones in 1995. I was a little kid because we were in Austin and Alex Jones was in Austin. Like, she had things printed out. Like, she already knew everything. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm telling you guys, like, yeah, she had, like, all these, like psychology books and, like, everything. I'm trying to remember. She was older. Yeah, I mean, like, and the thing is that I'm trying to remember, like, some more examples of it. And so anyway, so she told me about all of this stuff. That's how I know all of this. It's because, and I probably have forgotten half of that because she knew so much about it. Bedtime stories as a kid were conspiracy theories. Do you know what's really funny about that? Is yes. And I remember, so there was a barbecue place that you know, is like near my house. And I went to this barbecue place and I told her that there were two conspiracy people talking about it. And I told her what they were talking about. And she didn't even really want to go down there because she thought they were too low level. Because they were like exchanging these two crazy guys had like these big binders full of information and they were trading them back and forth. And she's like, oh yeah, I knew about that in like, you know, like 1998 or something like that. What did you think about the planes hitting the towers? What do you think she thought? Yeah, what do you think? Right? And was your mom religious? Yeah, I was raised Roman Catholic. And yeah, absolutely. And so there it is, level 1 conspiracy theorist. No, I'm telling you, like any of my friends would tell you the exact same fucking story. Like she was really, really into that shit. Like she has, like I'm not even kidding you, probably. And like we've gotten rid of some of them because some of them got damaged by like water. She probably had, and in my house, there are probably 1,000 books in my house. I'm not even kidding you. And I'm pretty sure she read about 950 of them. That's all she did. What other conspiracies did your mom have exclusive to her? Basically, I probably, you know what? I could probably find videos of her talking about it. And if I do, I'll put them online. I will. Would you like to see the books? Yeah. And so it was crazy. A lot of stuff. RFK files are supposedly releasing today. Oh, maybe they will. But either way, this video. So yes, I know like any conspiracy theory, any of that stuff. That's how I know about it. And then also, like, I know stuff that she didn't know, which is the internet stuff. Like, she didn't get into, like, the social media part of the internet really hardly at all. And so, like, when I see that, I know all of the, like, I know probably about, I would say 10 to 20% of what she knew about conspiracy theory stuff. Like, if that. The JFK, not RFK? I know that. Did I say RFK? I meant to say JFK. Yeah, she would have been all over Twitter now, though. No, she would go to Twitter, too. She would watch just a lot, like... She watched The Usual Suspects, basically. Like, think about all of the people that conspiracy theorists would watch. She would watch them. There it is. Yep. And let's see. I'll look at a few more of these. RFK was a conspiracy tool? Well, I don't know about that. I have no idea. David Icke? Oh, yeah, I knew all about David Icke. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, of course. Yeah, 100%. It's not even a question. Stopped watching TV 25 years ago. Read like under books. The streaming wasn't really a thing at the time. Yeah. Let me see. I'll look at a few more of these. Do you believe all the conspiracy stuff? I think that it's important to know what happened and to know the information to provide a frame of reference. But for the most part, I think that she would try to put pieces together when she didn't have the full puzzle. And so she'd make pictures that weren't entirely accurate. You know, it's like you have a jigsaw puzzle with 1,000 pieces and you have 970 pieces. You're going to kind of have the picture, but if you try to make them all fit together, it's going to be a little bit distorted. So I think that's really the case with a lot of that stuff. She would vote Trump. Yes, she voted for Trump in 2020. I remember I had to drive her up there. She couldn't even go inside the building. And they, like, actually, the thing is that the people that do voting are, like, really, they're really nice people. And they let her vote from the car. Like, they took the whole machine out there to her, and she was able to do the whole thing on her own. I can't even tell if this guy's serious. Everything that I'm saying is completely serious. Damn, I'm sorry. No, I mean, that's just the way it is, right? I mean, you get older and that's just what it is. When Snowden exposed the NSA, it validated a lot of conspiracy theorists. Oh yeah, she knew all about that. And I remember when Snowden exposed it, there was nothing that Snowden exposed that she didn't already know. Basically. And she was like, see, I told you, now he's saying it. Now do you believe me? And I'm like, okay, well, maybe some of this stuff is true.